Hiya. Hiya. Well, that was worrying, wasn't it? That it came to that. So something happened, and it buggered up the very careful thing. So that's not a good start to the stream. Hello everybody, how you doing? Welcome in. You're watching twitch.tv/1030. My name's 1030, and it's all just wonderful, everything that's happening. Welcome in. At the start of the stream, we like to share any good news, big or small. If you've got any good news, please put it in chat. My good news is that I've got a wee cup of tea somewhere, and I don't know where to put it, but I've definitely made a cup of tea. So I'm away to get that, and if you want to meet back here in like 1 minute, that would be cool. I'll see you in 1 minute. And hello, that's us. We have now started the stream. Let the stream commence. Welcome in, folks. You're watching twitch.tv/1030. My name's 1030. Let's get on with the thing. You are watching twitch.tv/1030. I'm 1030. Let's get on with the thing. Hello, folks. How you doing? Can I just say, from the start, thank you very much. Who are we thanking? Fratly Faust, thank you very much for 100 bits. Fratly Faust, welcome in. I hope you're having a good day. And after Fratly Faust, I would like to say thank you very much to Marky. Hello, Marky. Thanks very much for resubbing. Fratly Faust says, amazing setup there. Thanks for showing us. Roll on summer so you aren't freezing 100%. So there's going to be loft streams in the summer. and it's just going to be fantastic. I might just stick on a jacket though. We could head up and do some loft streams with just a jacket on. I'm sure people have streamed from colder locations than my loft. Well, good, everybody. Welcome in. If you're just in, I would like to hear any good news, big or small. What's your good news? Tell me. Marky says, hey, 10:30, you're back. Shame I missed the start of stream. What's even happening? Well, that is my question to yourself. What is even happening? Yesterday wasn't a very graceful return to the streaming because my internet kept going out. Hello, Fluffy. Welcome in. Fluffy, thanks very much for resubbing using Amazon Prime. I very much appreciate that. I love Prime subs, so thank you very much for giving me your Prime sub. I'll start at the top. Hello, Rye3D, 87 Royal Duke, Subwoofer, Skywatcher, Caravorn, Nora's Day, Bowdy, how's it going? Avgas, Neck Nil, Radio Rendell, just making sure all of this matches up here. Hello, 5G Provider. Hello, Caravor. Glad to be back. Will he grab a water too? No. And I didn't grab a water. So if you had predicted that wait a wee second. If you had predicted that I would grab a water, I didn't. Hold on, I've just realised the bubble gun is all not happening. So let me plug in my bubble gun. Because that's a big part of the stream, man. That's quite a big part of the stream. Right, we do that, and then we do this, and then we do that. And then we remove this with one hand because the other hand's holding this in. And then we get out the way the water bottle. Now we do that, and then with all of that in, I need to then cover that up with this. If I can get in, you bastard. Right, and now with that done, what I then simply have to do is prime the tubes. They're primed. And is any going to go on my poster? We're all good, man. We're all good. Hello, folks. How's it going? Welcome in. Thanks. We should all hide and pretend we've gone away. Don't do that. Or, all face your chairs the opposite direction, just like in class. Don't do that. Pablo Diablo says, anything different there, James? I'm not sure. What sort of stuff are you thinking might be different? I brushed my hair. I don't have my backlight on. My grandiose Buffon is usually backlit, you see. So is that a wee bit different? Do you know what I mean? Wee bit of something like that. But I don't think so. I think it's maybe better illuminating Hal than illuminating my head. And we could stick this round here a wee bit. But I need a better solution for mounting this light to this pole because it's just constantly moving about. Hello, folks. Did you give your provider a bollocking? I did not, Caravor, because ever since I went off stream, it just started working again. Funkle Albert says, good news, 10:30 remembered their cup of tea. Funkle Albert, I see you were in late because I sat down and I hadn't remembered the cup of tea and I had to go back to be right back and then come back. Thomas Greggs, how you doing, Thomas Greggs? Is in with a bit of good news. At the start of the stream, we cover any good news. If you've got any good news, stick it in the chat. Thomas Greggs says, my good news is that I'm taking an impromptu day off from PhD work because I can't be arsed. That's the way to do it. Fuck it, man. Take some rest in case you burn out and all of that. Your PhD can wait. That's what I say. And I say this as somebody who hasn't got a PhD because my PhD is still waiting. Hello, Beneath the Headphones. Hello, Pablo Diablo. Hello, Terrible Clunt. What a squad. I know the full team are in, mate. The full team are absolutely in. Beneath Headphones says, good news, I found another drone whilst litter picking. It's even got a camera on it. Jesus Christ. Beneath the Headphones. That's class. Have you removed the SD card from the drone? Because there might be footage on it of when the previous owner crashed it into wherever it was that you found it. That's cool, isn't it? Missed the stream yesterday. Hello, Stevja. I noticed your absence. Going to have to work on that, Stevja. Okay, I need you to be in on the stream when I'm streaming. Okay, Stevja? Steph just says, I missed the stream yesterday. Have I missed the new merch reveal? Well, there wasn't really a reveal, but I'm testing out new merch. Testing it out. You can't buy it yet, but I'm testing it out. So I've ordered some. I ordered this and some other bits and pieces, and I'm doing like a quality check. Right here, how's it going? Thank you very much for... Is that just 200 bits just cause? Is that just 200 bits just cause? Thank you very much, right here. And there are tiers like a cake to your profile picture. What's that about? Like, you know, levels, tiers. That's something. Hello, Cakes, welcome in. How's it even going? Sorry, I've got bubbles in my face when Kate's in. How very embarrassing. So I beneath the headphones found a drone while out litter picking. My God. Tom's Greg says, I was just thinking the hair looks extra coiffured. Well, I did just brush it. I was going to have a shower, right? And then by the time I woke up and got all the dogs all sorted and arranged the rest of my day and did all my emails and stuff like that, I'd run out of time to have a shower. So I just washed my face and then brushed my hair back. But my hair's getting to a length just now where when I wake up in the morning, doesn't look good at all. Hello, big tough man. Welcome in. How's it even going? I think my monitor's looking darker than it. And then we've got a delayed. No, that wasn't delayed. That was at the right time. Maybe today, because am I going to get bubble blasted? Chameleon deserves a bubble blast. But am I going to get one? I did. It's all just out of sequence. I think maybe today we fix this sequence. Big Taff Man, thank you very much for subbing. Welcome in. Imagine having bubbles on your face, you prick. Apologies for calling you a prick, but I did give you money to insult you, so balance, you know. Aye. I mean, you can give me more to insult me even more than that, because where I'm from, the word prick just means like person. Do you know what I mean? Did you see that prick? What prick? That prick there? No, that prick's my da. That prick? Aye, that prick. Prick just means like person. So I don't even see it as an insult. But thank you very much for the money, Big Taff Man. I hope you're doing fantastic. And Chameleon, also, congratulations to Big Taff Man for raising fucking literally thousands of pounds for charity and was on the front page of Twitch and all that sort of stuff as well. Absolute legend, Taff Man. What a prick. In a good way. Big Taff Man, cheers. And Taff says you're a bell end. Apologies again. It's fine. I'll take it. Where else on Twitch can you spend 200 bits, get your profile picture here, get your username here if the monitor was switched on, which it isn't, get to bubble blast the person in the face and get to call them a bell end, just all in the one press of a button? Nowhere else on Twitch. Except for right here at twitch.tv/1030. Thank you very much, Taff Man. And Chameleon, 51 months. Jeez, Chameleon, 51 months? Can that be real? Chameleon, thank you very much. I wonder how Puppet 1030's doing, man. I wonder if... I shudder to think where Puppet 1030 is just now. What he's all mushed up against at the back of one of Roscoe's drawers. But I think I miss Puppet 1030. Where do you get the t-shirts printed if it's not a big secret? It's a big secret, 87-year-old Duke. So I'm looking at a merch place. Do you want to see my website as it currently stands? Because it's not finished yet, but I could show you my website. Is that the password? No, it isn't. Is this the password? No, it isn't. I don't know how to log into my website as like a civilian. 2 wee seconds. But I'm starting a new website, folks, and it's going to simply be spectacular. Right, if I go into settings, and then I go into site design, maybe. There's a wee like starting soon bit on my website. General. That's not going to work. The problem with the website is it's written by Americans, so there's certain parts of the website that just don't work very good. Like pricing and stuff needs to be my full address just on screen there, but you didn't see it. All the pricing structure and stuff needs to be like converted on the fly and things, and it's no wonderful. But there's some really cool, clever stuff that I can do with it. If I can figure out how to show you how to get into it. Oh, is the password maybe that? I nearly said it aloud. But I was trying to get Zafra into this, and he's just too busy. And then Kate was looking for a website as well, and I was like, maybe try this one. Yay, there we go. Okie dokie. So this is a work in progress. Would you like to see my website? I miss Puppet 1030 as well, Fluffy. Hold on, lots of people are talking to me in the chat. Taff says you're a bell end. Apologies again, it's fine. Pixel Pass says afternoon all. Good afternoon, Pixel Pass. Norris Day says, I wish Rachel's No Sexist, No Racist poster was available as merch. Having recently discovered a good friend of mine is spouting nonsense online, I feel the need to make her very, very uncomfortable and invite Coco. Okay, well, Norris Day, here's the deal. In the chat just now, look, I'll do it again. There should be a link where you can buy Rachel's No Sexist, No Racist, No Fascist poster. It's a wonderful project to get behind. I don't make a penny off it. But I tell you who does make a penny off it. Refuouija. Here, I've not spoke about this on stream for a wee bit. Gonzo, how's it going? Welcome in, Gonzo. Thank you very much. Thanks very much for your Prime sub. 27 months of the best Perry Saturn on Twitch. See, one day, Gonzo, we're just going to have Perry Saturn content. It'll just be wall-to-wall Perry Saturn content. It'll be bloody brilliant. Gonzo, thank you very much for your gift sub. But basically... what is even happening? E-Girls, thank you very much for subbing, E-Girls. Thanks very much for your Prime sub, legend. Am I getting bubbles on my poster? No, I'm not. Nice Pikachu avatar, though. I'm bubbly-faced. I'm awfully bubbly-faced, folks. Coming soon. Hello, Code with TD. Welcome in. How's it going, man? So somebody was talking about Rachel's poster. This here is Rachel's poster. The link is in the chat if you want to buy it. It's a pastiche of the No Blacks, No Dogs, No Irish signs that were put up around the United Kingdom after World War II, except this satire flips that on its head. So it's the people that are spewing hate are those who are unwelcome. And I tell you what, £5 of every sale goes to Glasgow refugee charity Refuouija, and they are worth supporting. And another £5 goes to Rachel, and then another £5 goes to making the poster, and so that's why it's £15. I think there might be cold solder joints inside my CRT. Anybody else get that issue? I think there might be cold solder joints inside my CRT. And I can't be bothered opening up my CRT and looking for cold solder joints. No, I've got enough on my plate. But it looks like we'll be doing that at some point. Anyway. So... check this out. So this here is my website, and on the left there's a menu, and this is my website that I've been working on for a wee bit. It's not live yet, but I'm thinking about releasing it as soon as it's finished. So John the Human, the telly is not supposed to be flickering a lot. I've had nothing but bother with this telly. Start off, big picture of my face. Do you know what I mean? That's always good. Big picture of my face. About what is the website about? The site features the projects, products, and ideas of James Houston, also known as 1030. That's me. Ignore this because I don't think I'm going to do this. But basically, you know how some people do Patreon? I figured out a way just doing it on my own without going via Patreon. And this is, I was thinking about it, but I don't really have much to offer just now, so I don't think I'm doing a member thing. But the main feature of the website is to go into projects, and you can read about all my projects. Look at this. There's Stone Cold Steve Austin, there's Games Master, there's that film I'm making with Pip, there's a HAL 9000, just the Twitch stream in general as a project with all the technology and some various things that I've done. So a lot of it is just placeholder text just now. But I'm trying to find one that I've filled in. Browse new merch. See, it shouldn't say browse new merch, it should say like watch. Nah, it just takes you to the shop. So I need to make things happen when you click on the projects, so that you can click through and actually... Aye. So that's what would happen. If you see one of the projects that you're interested in, you'd click on more, and then a thing would pop up with maybe some behind-the-scenes photos and like a wee bit of blurb and a video to watch the project. Do you know what I mean? Notice down the bottom as well, if I'm on Twitch, it'll show you. There's a wee red live thing that pops up, and that's quite cool. If people want to chuck us cash, there will be a way of doing it here. And that will tie into all my Twitch stuff, which is cool, because right now, if I'm using Ko-fi or something, it doesn't tie into all my Twitch stuff. And then there is a shop. So here's some of the stuff. This is what I'm currently wearing just now. That's that. This is what I'm currently drinking from just now. That's that. And I figured out a cool thing, right, where if I'm live, right, you can add that to your cart. And so you could buy the cup if you want this cup, and it's a very good cup. So you could buy it for yourself. If you're a Twitch sub, you get 10% off, because I can do that, and I know how to do all of that. But then, if I'm live, the website isn't live just now, but you can gift it to the Twitch chat. And that's interesting. So I didn't think I'd be able to do it. Look at all the integration with Twitch. So if I'm on stream, you can't do this yet because my website hasn't went live. But if I'm on stream and somebody just wants to buy another viewer one of the mugs, they go onto the website, gift to Twitch chat, fill it in. They don't know who's going to get it. And then on my end, there's like a lottery thing that happens where it's free to enter. Anybody that's watching enters. And within a minute or something, a recipient of the gift person receives a DM for their information. Do you know what I mean? So that's cool. What else have I been doing? I've been looking at... This is embroidered, which is why it's 30 odd quid. So this is a replica of Big Neil's actual thing. It's embroidered. So that's cool. So I've been going through various classic jumpers that I want. So this isn't 100% ready to go yet. I'm still not quite happy with the artwork. But that's interesting. 10% off for Twitch subs. And then you've got your classics, your bubble posters. There's going to be more of them. And I need to finish... This is dear. This is 20 quid for a notebook. So I don't think I'll offer it, right? And I need to finish the design on it. But the idea is that somebody could have multiple versions of this that are all different colours. And each notebook is like a different colour for a different project. And you can organise all your projects and it'll be brilliant. But it's a good quality notebook. But I don't know if £18.31 is a good price. So all the prices are upside down. £18.31. And that's because even though the items are made in the UK or the EU and sent to you from within the UK or the EU, all the pricing's done in America land. So every time you visit the page, a price is generated based on the value of the dollar versus whatever currency you've got selected up here. So all my prices are mental prices, £18.31. And I don't know if that includes tax as well. But anyway, in a wee while, maybe less than a week or so, you're going to have a website where you can see all my projects. You can click into projects to find out more about them. You can buy my cool merch on the shop in a wee minute. I want to order one of these because I think it looks cool. And also, you can chuck us cash if you want to do that. And also, I was looking at a members only section. So here is kind of like an archive of a lot of my VODs. And I was thinking for people that do want to chuck us, for example, £5 a month or whatever, there's no obligation, then you would be able to go in and see different VODs and stuff like that. And also, I will be able to put up digital items. Hold on, this is doing my box in. Hello, Billy fucking Kirkwood. How's it going? Thanks for the follow. This telly's fucked, isn't it? This telly's fucked, man. I think it's cold solder joints. I don't know, man. Right, turn it off and back on seems to help for a wee minute. But we will see how it goes. So that's my good news, is I've been slowly working on a website and it's looking alright, but the thing that I'm most looking forward to is having an up-to-date list of all my creative projects that I've done, so that I can send it to folk and they can give me work. Deary me. Anyway, welcome in if you're just joining us. We're just chilling out. Sorry I'm a wee bit behind in the chat. Listen, at the start of the stream, what we like to do is share some good news. So if you've got any good news, big or small, stick it in the chat. Bidon says, blow in it, you behave yourself. WeShed says, get it off, as in turn it off. Nah, I'll be alright. It's the worst it could happen. It's only blasting radiation to like my soft side. This is actually where there's a lot of pain. I wonder if it's my CRT radiation tower of power that's just blasting the side of my face. Chameleon says, I matched with someone on a dating app and yesterday they hit me with something different into it and I don't know how to react. Imagine they're a viewer of 1030. I can say categorically it isn't me, right? But imagine... that would be interesting. Chameleon, I think that's a sign that you've hit it off with this person. I think that's a good sign. I'm sending you good vibes. John the Human, the telly isn't supposed to be flickering. It's all fucked. Everyone's fucked. Anyway. Fluffy says mugs, t-shirts, mouse mats, the lot. Who said anything about mouse mats? Does anybody still use a mouse mat? Obviously, a lot of you will be like professional elite gamer people, right? And so you need a mouse mat. Well, my mouse mat's 1.5 inch, 1.5 centimetre memory foam and stuff. But I've not used a mouse mat for ages. Well, I've got like a big desk mat thing. Aye, it's about that size and it's kind of fake leather. I've got one of them. Oh, TD, I've got no good news. I've only got bad news, so I'll keep that to myself. That's heartbreaking, man. But aye, you're right, absolutely no bad news is allowed in here. I'm afraid it's the rules. But that's heartbreaking. A bubble print desk pad could work. I'm into it, Hugh TV. I showed you the bubble poster, didn't I? Good quality gear, don't bubble it. Don't bubble it. So I think what I'm going to do with the bubble poster is make them about half the size so that the resolution's a lot nicer and so that the image looks a lot crisper. And it'll mean they're cheaper as well. And do a range of them. So there'll be like 10 different bubble prints that you can get if you want to. I'm quite excited about all of that. Watched Maven interview Perry on his YouTube channel, very good. I spotted the clickbait thumbnail for that, and it's like this one wrestler's thing that he doesn't want me to know or something like that, but I didn't see it. But Maven's YouTube channel's really good, considering who he is. I had a thought about your intercom thing yesterday, says Animated Gamer. Oh, aye. Video baby monitor might be a shout as a starting point. Nice one, Animated Gamer. The thing has to feed into an HDMI telly. But we'll see what's happening. Hello, Chicken Chaser. Norris Day says, got Dolan's hat, gutted though, thought my mates were sound. Sorry for I overlooking that part of what you're saying, Norris Day. That's a hard thing to sort of reconcile. And if you're outnumbered as well, I've told you my story about my mate that got all kind of Trumpy and went mental and we had to just get rid of the guy. I've never dumped a pal before. But we'll see how it goes. Good luck. So it isn't Shopify that I'm using for the website. It's, I'll wait until it's launched and I can tell you all about it. But it's free, which is cool. Anyway, by Nora's Day, that sounds absolutely brutal. I need to somehow connect your Bubble TV with Bubble Ink. What's Bubble Ink? Should just have ride under about with that homepage pic. Thank you to Crooked Fingers. I'm a ride. My pal Peachy says he's recorded some HDDs for you, I think. Really, Chicken Chaser? Is his name David? I think he was the sound recordist on a video that I made ages ago. Is it David? Was it this? Aye. Cool. I only know of him through that job. But that was a fun job. And he did a great job as well. Dynamite. Look at that. Look at how small the world is. Fluffy, that it was a notebook, but it was an expensive notebook. And so I'm trying to figure out how to maybe give you cheaper notebooks or indeed jotters. But notebooks can be expensive. See, for a quality notebook. But I'm not happy with the design on the cover. Let's talk about the notebook, because I've put a lot of thought into this notebook, everybody. So this isn't for sale just now, right? But the idea is multiple different colours for different projects, right? I don't like just project notebook on the front. I think my logo needs to be in there because that's what it's all about. But I would quite like a blank white rectangle above notebook so that you can write in whatever project that book is for on the front. You know what I mean? So something that can just take Sharpie ink. So if you had that black one, you could write like Bubble Robot on the front of it or whatever. I'm not happy with the graphic design here. I think it's kind of lazy just to put everything right in the centre. And I think if there was a cool print on that, it would work a wee bit better. I'm kind of inspired by, who's that guy? Aaron Draplin, who created Field Notes. He's familiar with Field Notes. And he made a lot of money just by taking existing notebooks and setting nice typography on the front. And with that money, he then started making his own notebooks, and now he's like a bazillionaire. That's a spoof. That's the actual one. And all it is nice type. That's it. It's the power of typography. So, look at that. I like the red staples and shit in it. That's nice. And they're dear. So I'd like to do something similar with mine and somehow bring the cost down as well. Would be fantastic. Dearie me. Is there any way to make it so you get a bubble blast when someone buys something when you're live? Yes, Try3D. Yes, there is. I can do all of that shit. I can have Hal tell me, just a minute, James, somebody's bought a big t-shirt or something like that. I can do giveaways in Twitch. I can have all the Bubble Blast shit set up. If somebody buys something, I can have your picture here and all of that sort of stuff. I don't know if that's advisable though, because imagine there's multiple people watching and somebody buys like a Christmas gift for somebody else or something like that, or a birthday present, and it comes up and I spoil it for them. So-and-so just bought, do you know what I mean? So I don't know if I should do that. But I can do all the stuff. I can do all the stuff, which is cool. Neil's jumper, like Neil from The Matrix. Different Neil. It's a different Neil. However, what I would like to do is make all the jumpers that I've wanted throughout history, because the jumpers aren't just printed. Some of them can be embroidered, but other ones can actually be knitted. So I want George Lucas's jumper that he had on in this picture. I've often lusted after this jumper. Look at him, man. He's a ride. Look at this guy. So I was thinking about preparing this jumper somehow. All I've got, or well, to create a jumper in the style of this jumper anyway, and just punt it. I think I can have them to your door for 30 quid. For £20, I'm going to want a dot grid, please. It's £18.31 actually, and they are lined and lined only, I'm afraid. I'm currently looking at other things. What's the size in A terms? I don't know. I had one, but it's upstairs. I've got it, but it's upstairs. I would feel a boss with that jumper. Aye, here, the jumpers are going to get good. You think £20 is dear? CGP Grey on YouTube is selling a notepad for 60 quid. 1030 job bag, 100%. Aye, I mean, I don't want to take a piss out it. But there's often people that are like, where can I get this and stuff? So, I think it would be cool. Anyway, sorry, I'm reading stuff and talking to you at the same time. I'm well behind the chat. Keep talking, everybody. Beneath Headphones was out letter picking. He found a drone. I said, have a wee look and see if there's an SD card in it and you can capture a bit of video. He said there isn't. Bad news, the drone didn't have a card in it. It did have a wee slug inside it, however, gave me a wee fright. That's funny. I wonder if that slug went on the voyage. That would be cool. Or if that slug was exploring a unmanned aircraft, because that would have blown the wee slug's mind. Base Embrace says it's either cold solder joints or the owner frequently hitting it. I'm going to just leave it there and see how long it lasts. I think there's a lot less definition in the shadows and in the darks just now. I noticed that when Tathman's logo came up. So, don't know what the deal is, but I think this is on its last legs. Dearie me. Aye, that's worth a shout, Chameleon. Maybe investigate further. Aye, I'm a desk mat squad. I wonder if I can put a desk mat on my website. But that would be cool. Bubble print desk pad could work. It might be then difficult to see stuff that you've put down. So if you did have a big bubble print on a desk mat, and then you had something like this, like the end of a screwdriver or something. You know what I mean? And then you put that down on your bubble print desk mat, and then it's just gone because it's a small bit of detail. You know what I mean? Anna Realta says, how's the Art Attack jumper going? If I press a button right now, it's ready for sale. And it's not only, it's good. I don't know if I'll get sued because I think the logo is literally now owned by the Disney Corporation. So this might not be a good idea to do. But we will see. I'm going to, I need to make it a wee bit better. TD says, I could say a new version of the StreamerBot Alpha was released, so that's some good news. And I think I've sorted out my travel to go to TwitchCon, so I'll use that as my good news. Class. I was thinking about going to TwitchCon, but I don't know if I could do it. I don't know if I can do it. I want to try out the new version of StreamerBot. I've no downloaded it just through fear of introducing new software into my very delicate setup. Is the hat the baseball cap style or more of your big square trucker hat? I don't know yet, Stevja. So I've not ordered everything, but I've got options for hats. For all the products, what I'm trying to do is narrow down the options to those who have got UK manufacturers and distributors, rather than you buying a 1030 hat and it's getting manufactured in America or something like that and you're waiting 2 months to get it. So, still working on the finer points of it, but I won't sell anything on the website unless I've ordered it myself and I can examine it. Gary Black says, did you see scientists genetically modified woolly mice on the way to creating woolly mammoths? I hope ultimately this is the end of humanity. We've had long enough. We've had it too good for too long. Why are we fucking about with woolly mice? Just leave mice alone, man. Go to Dublin for 4 days to see Nine Inch Nails. Amazing Nora's Day. That's class. I miss Dublin. My friend holds like 15 Bubble world records. His name is Sam Bubble Man. His website is Bubble Inc. Interesting. I will open him in a new tab. Thank you very much for the... Oh, aye. A big bubble boy. See, I got on forums with people that do this sort of stuff. Wait till I show you. Oh, I can't view his image larger. But people that make like big bubbles like this, I ended up on some forums because I wanted to know a lot more about the bubble liquid that they use. But the scale is very different. So I'm looking at microscopic bubble liquid, and they want to create bubble liquid that's, very, very big, so that it's thicker and they can make big bubbles for literally people to stand in and things. Super D, how you doing, Super D? Thank you very much for resubbing. Maximum respect to you, Super D. How is it even going and all of that? Thanks very much for the sub, and thank you for the bubble blast. By the big bubble people, it's a completely different line of work, as I found. So everybody's got recipes for their formula for bubble juice. They don't even call it bubble juice. It's a completely different line of work. But a lot of people get us confused quite often. But their bubble juice creates like a thick bubble. And for me, I need a thin bubble. But their bubble juice always seems to be really colourful. And a problem for me is I can't get a lot of colours out my bubbles. So, anyway. Hello, BR Lake. Thank you very much for commenting on my hair volume. Sort of going up and out. Fluffy is a notebook person. We have found that out. Dynamite. Cool. I'll maybe run notebook prototypes past you then. Hello, Kyber Spy. How's it going? Welcome in. I like the inside of those notebooks with the different things like start date and end date, etc. I don't know if I can do that on my notebooks. I want to give you like a really just nice looking front cover, and this isn't it currently. Where's more details? I thought I had more photos of this, but it's lined on the inside. Anyway. But not available yet. I need to go through everything and make sure it meets my highly demanding standards. Aye, Present and Correct. I've been following them on Twitter for a long time. But with Present and Correct, I think most of the stock is like vintage stock. So they can sell it for whatever cost they want. If you go in and there's a set of rubbers from like Germany in 1910 or something like that, and they're all like fucking brilliant. Anyway. I had to go AFK a bit there, but I've never seen anyone with an Art Attack merch. Did you just put it together for the manufacturer of your merch? Aye, Carnivore. So they do embroidered garments. So I went in with a vector file, because if you look closely at Neil Buchanan's jumper, he's had many different jumpers over the years. Some of them were knitted, but the one that he sort of settled on, the big chest piece, was embroidered. It wasn't just printed, it was embroidered. So I always thought that if I was going to replicate that jumper, and it's a very good jumper to replicate, it would have to be embroidered. Will Mac says, mate, what's a really good CRT that you'd recommend? I don't know, Will Mac. Are you still there on TikTok chat? See if you can get one. A lot of people need CRTs that have got RGB inputs, so make sure it's got a SCART or something in the back. But I think you've disappeared on TikTok. People come and people go on TikTok. If you're watching me on TikTok and I'm not answering you, this is where to go. Twitch.tv/1030 1030, and I'm looking at the chat on Twitch a lot more than I'm looking at it on TikTok. But if you're looking for a CRT monitor, a PVM, that's professional video monitor, or a BVM, that's a broadcast video monitor, they're more or less the same. And a Trinitron is like the holy grail, but it's price basically. See if you just get like a wee Bush 12-inch telly for 1998 or something, it'll get you about 95% the way there. And if you can buy that for 40 quid from Facebook Marketplace, and then if it blows up in a year or something like that, you've only lost 40 quid. I wouldn't go down the line of trying to get a really good broadcast monitor unless that's like your thing and you want to get into it. But there are subreddits if you fancy a wee look. Bowdy says, good news, an old Dell ultra small form factor PC has just turned up for me to install Batocera and use it on a living room emulator console. Batocera, what the hell is that? Sounds good. Oh, it's a flavour of Linux. An open source and completely free retro gaming distribution that can be copied to USB stick or an SD card with the aim of turning any computer or nano computer into a gaming console during a game or permanently. Batocera Linux. It's got a trailer. Has your operating system got a trailer? Mine doesn't. Mine probably does. Batocera Linux. So this is for using an old computer you install this on it, or you just stick this on an SD card or whatever, stick it into your computer. Oh, that's a Road Avenger for the Mega CD. I had that game. Or well, Laserdisc. So I had a lower resolution version of this game. That'd be fun to... Do you know what we could do on stream? We could play games that I owned when I was wee and see if I can complete stuff that I didn't back in the day. Christ, I mean, I've already got enough new ideas. So do the ROMs and stuff come with it? Are they just doing it illegally? Fuck it, you download a torrent and you get Doom and things on it? Or do you need to supply your own ROMs? But I've never heard of Batocera. Looks like a cool wee project. Batocera 41. And I suppose if the ROMs and stuff do come on it, then they'll have done all the work of naming the ROMs, getting the right version of the ROM to go with that emulator, setting up all the footery controls and all of that, because that's the biggest problem with trying to create some sort of emulation consoles getting in. The artwork, are all the things labelled correctly? Oh, it's a pain in the arse. But if you're into it, you're into it. But that sounds great, Bowdy. What are you using as a joypad? Big Scary Deer says, would you be able to add a checkbox to the order page to avoid on-stream shoutouts? Big Scary Deer, I don't know, but that's a very good idea. Could there be a share with Twitch kind of button at the checkout, maybe? Maybe. I mean, I'm going to go through it. Maybe there is already. I've no experimented with it, but you think that would be optional. You know what I mean? Because some people will buy stuff if they get a shout out, and other people will avoid buying stuff if they get a shout out. Oh, also, see for my online shop, every single sale, right, gets a wee video response. So I get it through to my phone, somebody's just bought something, and I press a button and it just starts recording. Oh yeah, thanks very much for that. Here is the item here, I'm ready to post it out if it's something that I've got, or I'll just say a funny thing or do whatever. So it's kind of like Cameo in that as well. It's really good. So I don't want to promote it without having tested it out yet. So wait till I've done it all. And I want to test it out before I start talking about how it's been built. B. Don says, Neil from The Matrix caught a beatdown last Sunday. Stop playing with me, Scotland. I keep missing it when things are happening. So did Beth make Balmer make a Neil for The Matrix? That's quite funny. That's quite funny. Poor Balmer. George Lucas playing the video from Seven Nation Army on his jumper, advanced tech in the 70s. Here, I would buy that George Lucas jumper in a heartbeat, man. What I'm hearing is you found a downed drone with one of the sea aliens still inside. 100%. See if you were in New Jersey beneath the headphones. My God. Deary me. I found a slug trail on my curtain and now I don't know if I have a slug in my room. I accidentally left my window open on a chill night. Carivore, I would say you almost definitely do have a slug in your room. However, slugs are kind of cool, so maybe just try and safely transplant them to a better location. I've got nice flat grey desk pads. They're super comfy. Wouldn't want a really busy one. Well, that's what I'm thinking with if I had a bubble mat. Like a bubble print is quite loud. You know what I mean? There's lots of detail and lots of high frequency information on a bubble print. So to have that blasting up at your face all day might be a bit much. I think it would be fine if it's a smaller print on a wall, a nice framed print or something. So let me keep looking and I will see what all the stuff is. But please note, I'm working on some stuff. Did you see 2 versions of the Art Attack? The head are on sale for just under $2,000. The eyes move and all. I didn't see that, Anna Realta. I would say the head in Art Attack was probably my least favourite of all the bits. I didn't like the head. But $2,000 for such a piece of important cultural relic as the head for Art Attack. It depends which era, because there were certain eras of the head for Art Attack that folk weren't into. Hello Brush Fox, how's it going? And hello Anna Realta. Right, what are we talking about? What are we talking about, everybody? Aye, Woolly Mice is weird. The photos look like they've just given some nice Looney Tunes Acme hair growth serum. I don't know if I want to look at Woolly Mice because it's kind of animal abuse in a... Right, Guardian. Scientists aiming to bring back woolly mammoth create woolly mice. Genetically modified mice have traits geared towards cold tolerance in a step towards modifying elephants. What are we doing that for, but? We've got a lot on our plate right now. I don't think woolly mice is going to solve much, is it? Have you, or have you not, seen Jurassic Park? We've kind of been here before, haven't we? A plan to revive the mammoth is on track, scientists have said after creating a new species, the woolly mouse. What are you doing that for, but? See if anybody you know is involved in this. Just like gently, as a friend, just be like that, Davey. Moan back over it. Just do something else with your life. Like, see if I got into this in my own time, or like as a Twitch project. I'm trying to genetically engineer mice so that they're woolly. Somebody at some point, quite rightly, would be like, are you okay? Like, come on over, we can talk about this. Is this about something else? Is this about mice, or is it about something else? And yet, if you're coordinated and if you have money, it's like, oh no, this is actually good, let's put it in the Guardian and stuff. I think if I came up with this idea, I would be stopped from doing it, is what I'm saying. And I think that would be the right thing. Do you know what I mean? But anyway. Something different, isn't it? Something different. This stream has been brought to you by Woolly Mice and Batocera Linux. Deary me. Aye, Brush Fox, if you miss the Games Master, I can maybe show you a setup right now, because I quite miss old Games Master. So if you're unfamiliar, I do a thing on this stream that involves the Games Master. If you would like to see it, Brush Fox, let me know if there is any video game that you're currently playing that you need help in. If you could go back and speak to the big Games Master head and ask him any question about any video game that you're having trouble with, let me know and I'll get in touch with him. I've got a special thing on my stream where I can do that. Mind the Bubble guy kicked the baby at the Fringe. I don't think he kicked the baby. I think he fell on the baby. There's a difference there. And also, I don't know how true that story is. I keep meaning to ask Roscoe when I see him. I don't see Roscoe face to face that often. But next time I see him, I want to lean in and just be like, see the bubble guy story? Is that true? Because Roscoe, if you're unfamiliar, came on stream one day, right? And it was when the Fringe was happening. And usually there is stories going around the Fringe. And because I kind of know a handful of comedians, every year there's like a rumour. And nobody knows if it's true. So last year, there was a rumour that this popular celebrity comedian stand-up person is shagging this popular celebrity stand-up comedian. And I'm like, oh, aye. So anyway, Zaffer Cakes told me about all of that. And then Roscoe, right, last year maybe, the year before, came on streams like that. Right, guys, something has happened at the Fringe. So basically, there was a bubble performer who makes the big bubbles, you know, and was performing at a show during the day, and there were children in the audience. And the bubble performer slipped on some bubble juice that had spilled, and he landed on a baby which was 1 month old. How do you move on for that? Do you know what I mean? Turns out the baby was fine and all of that sort of stuff. But how do you know if a baby's fine? 1 month old baby? How do you know? Anyway, so, but I still don't know if that story's true. But I would like to categorically distance myself from the whole Fringe side of bubble performing. The work that I do is very different from the work that they do. I'm not harming any babies. But I really want to know if that's true. Anyway, Bally's also a notebook person. Dynamite. You'd want a bit of embossing or something? Aye, I see what you're saying. I'm a bit limited in my notebook options. Big fan of a dot grid notebook, as am I. I like a grid system. A cover that's got loads of wee bits for people to colour in would be good. I don't know if I can do that, Rolduke, but I'll see what I can do. Can we get the Games Master's opinion on Bubble Bobble for no other reason than it has bubble in the title? We could, Funkle Albert. Aye, maybe Carnivore. Christopher MacArthur Boyd was talking about 10:30 jumpers on Here Comes the Guillotine with Frankie Boyle and Susan McCabe last week. How class was that? I got a wee mention for CMB. So I think that's me now being incidentally mentioned on all of my favourite podcasts. So Here Comes the Guillotine, CMB mentioned me last week. On Blind Boy's podcast, it's one of my most favourite things that anybody's ever done. Screwbase Pip mentions me because he was a guest. That was about 1.5 years ago, or 2 years ago, or something like that. And Blind Boy and Screwbase Pip are sitting talking about my Twitch stream. Blind Boy says that it's participatory art that's got more value than the paintings of Velázquez. And I'm like, right, because Blind Boy's one of my fucking heroes. And then on Screwbase Pipsy's podcast, I can't listen to that when getting to sleep because quite often I've been in bed listening to it and my name crops up and I'm like, whoa, and it wakes me up. So thank you very much, Screwbase Pip, Blind Boy and Christopher MacArthur Boyd for just casually name dropping me on your podcasts. And to the Some Laugh lads, fucking get into my stuff, right? Yous are missing out. Some Laugh. Guys, Mark Jennings, you follow me on Twitter. You should have mentioned me by now. Mark Jennings. Who else? Fucking Stephen Buchanan. You should have mentioned me by now. I do banging tweets. Who else? That other guy. If you don't mention me on your podcast, I'm not mentioning you on my stream, right? How's that? Some Laugh, guys. Mention me in your podcast, thanks. No, but that was cool. Getting a wee shout out for CMB. Funk Albert says, what we know now is that Neil Buchanan was a huge UFO buff and all his giant art attacks were just an excuse for ITV budget to attract alien landings. Imagine it happened. This is an art attack. Bowdy says there are pre-made images with ROMs and stuff. Oh, for Batocera Linux. I've just finished downloading a 1 terabyte image. Bowdy, that sounds class, lad. Get in about it, man. No ROMs in the official release. I see. I've found some great retro front ends. Honestly, the front end revolution has been crazy the last few years. Really, there were only like 2 options back in the day for me. And I can't even remember what they were entirely. There was... Oh, I can't remember the name of the good one. There was one that looked nice, but it wasn't very feature heavy. Anyway. But that's good that there's now... The scene is a lot better. Joypad is an 8-bit Duo 2.4 GHz Xbox style jobber. Nice one. I really like my Mega Drive 8-bit Duo style ones. RetroArch has changed the game with emulation, forgive the pun. Just having one thing to launch has been a godsend. Paired with Emulation Station, you never need to pick the games yourself and they all get categorised automatically. Dynamite. I used to be a total ball ache, man. See, for MAME as well, like if you're setting up any MAME ROMs, because the controls are different in all the various games, so getting them mapped, it was just like, it's like a week's worth of work. Horrible. But that's good. Where are we? Aye, so Art Attack Head, let's have a look at that. Art Attack... It's me, the head. Right, well, this is worrying. I have just typed in a Google search while live on stream. Luckily, you can't see my search results, but live on stream, it says search results for, and then it gives you my street address. And if that's wrong, I can choose an area. So I now can't Google live on Twitch, because it'll dox my physical location. So that's good, isn't it? Be warned, everybody, if you use Google, when you're on Twitch, it might dox your location and your postcode and stuff. I think it's because I typed in for sale. So it's trying to give me like regional, there's a shop near you that might sell the Art Attack head. Of course it won't. Anyway, so be aware of that. You can't go into eBay as well because that'll dox your postcode, and sometimes you can't go into Amazon. So the Art Attack heads are for sale. So there's a Facebook link. The Art Attack heads are for sale on eBay. Right, will this dox me? I don't think so. The Art Attack heads are for sale on eBay. Unfortunately, they're miles out of my price range, but if anyone buys them, please get in contact. I would love to work on the sleepy head. They don't look great, do they? Let's see if I can show you the eBay link without doxing. The eBay link is now down. It's completely gone. Oh, no, it isn't. What a horrible website. I clicked on a link. And I'm like, well, where is the thing that I just clicked on? No, it must be... No, there it is. It's like halfway down the page. There's a postcode here, but it isn't mine. Oh, they're remote controlled. So the auction's ended for under $2,000. I think the later ones ended up just being a puppet, didn't they? I think it worked a lot better. But $2,000. I mean, you'd be paying that alone for the technology. Is that a Futaba RC remote? I think something's happened with his head there. It's all sort of, or that might be like a stylistic choice. It's not Futaba, it's a JR. Don't know what that is. End of an era. It's the end of an era. Nice box as well. Turn on receiver before switching on head. It's nicely made, isn't it? By Chris Lloyd. Shepperton Studios? No way. Shepperton is where a lot of cool stuff get made. Stormtroopers, all of that. That's cool. Anyway. Thing is, Jeff Bezos really wants to taste a mammoth steak. Do you think that's why they're making woolly mice? Dogs are genetically modified. You're right, Terrible Clunt. You're right. But I mean, I'm not going to get started about breeding dogs because it's just dodgy. The full thing's dodgy. Aye, let's make some fucking Pokemons, Fluffy, 100%. Dearie me. Did anyone watch Pointless in the last few days? There was a woman that looked very much like CMB. I haven't seen it, no. Roscoe did also mention me on his podcast. That's right. I forgot about that. I quite like Roscoe's podcast, Shooting Ropes. It's very good. Hello, Halric. Welcome in. How's it going? Pursue, I think you're right. I think if extraterrestrials did arrive, the good way of blending in would be to do so via being a bird. Anyway. Should be using DuckDuckGo anyway. I tried it a couple of times, but it didn't click for me. But Google isn't working very well now, so maybe, I don't know. Do I want to change my search engine? Probably. Anyway. I started using Bing and Edge on stream because of that. It feels dirty, doesn't it? Using Bing and Edge. But that's worth telling people about, isn't it? Anyway. Mine asks my permission to use my location each time. I don't know. Don't know why I'm in this situation. DuckDuckGo's cached Google, is that all it is? Dearie me. Never liked the head, always freaked me out. I never liked the head on Art Attack. Hello, Patchimus, welcome in. You're near Shepperton now? Interesting, oscillating, told you. There are a good lot of Star Wars stuff on that. Hello, Fox Comedy. Don't edge on stream, folks. 100%. Fox Comedy, did you know about that? If you go into Google and you type a Google search, it might just tell your stream your entire street address. That's fucking terrifying. Anyway. Edge is basically a Chrome now anyway. I can't keep up. There used to be a time where I was into all of this. iFox Comedy and any other streamer that's watching. So I went to Google. I typed in Art Attack head for sale. Because, well, I can show you this, right? I can show you this. I just typed in Art Attack head for sale and then I scrolled down, right? But see if I scroll back up, like if I scroll up again, it'll show you my street address just right here. And I think it's because the word for sale was in the Google search. So it's thinking, right, this guy wants to buy something locally. So it's saying, here are the results for the place that you're currently in, and it's trying to be helpful. But what would be more helpful if it didn't, I'm getting off flustered, if it didn't dox my location. So if I just type in Art Attack head, well, it doesn't give me my own address. If I type in clothes pegs for sale, it's giving me the results are for your street address, your town, your postcode. So be aware, all streamers, never type for sale into Google. Because that's worrying, isn't it? That's very worrying. Thanks, Google, for that. Cunts come to my door, stab me. Because of you, Google. Anyway. The thing I like about DuckDuckGo personally is the bang shortcuts. If you want to search something, can do !r something different, and it'll take you to the results page on Reddit. Or !maps, it'll bring up maps. Really handy for speed. Nice one, Bally. That's kind of cool. I think what you would need to do is eventually learn the muscle memory for nailing that down. But that's kind of cool. For a wee while I changed my default search engine to ChatGPT. A thing came up saying, we're doing this thing. Do you want to do that? And with that plugin installed, if I typed !G and then the search term, it would Google it. Otherwise, it would go via ChatGPT. And after about 2 days, I was like, you know what? I want my ChatGPT different from my Google. Some things you just want to Google. Anyway. Why is everything getting worse? This goes great with PayPal trying to dox us to anyone that donates or Ko-Fis. No, that's no strictly right as far as I'm aware. PayPal will dox me if I send somebody an invoice. Then it will share my address to them. Whereas if somebody just chucks his money on Ko-fi, as far as I'm aware, they can't see my address. But if I have to invoice somebody to then pay me money, then in that instance they will see my address. As far as I'm aware, and I might be wrong about this, but I remember sort of reading 2 paragraphs about 3 or 4 weeks ago of like, what is this? Because as a streamer, you need to be para. I've had multiple credible death threats in my very short time as a Twitch streamer, and the stuff I do isn't controversial at all. But, you know, try to stay alive. Anyway, so one part of the job I couldn't have foreseen. But you kind of just roll with the punches, isn't it? Anyway. Search results are a crap use case for LLMs. I totally agree. Especially if you're looking for recent information. You know, LLMs, the training cut-off date might be about 4 or 5 years ago or something like that. Absolutely, takes a wee while, but I'm a shortcut lover. We control K in Firefox and bang, shortcut, and I'm at results, dynamite. Absolutely dynamite. See if you get into a groove with something like that, nice shortcuts at your fingertips, and then you implement that over a series of years. Look at how much of your life you've saved. You know, see if I can shave off 20 clicks of every workday. They add up, man. I really like to find the optimal way of doing things. If I need to do the same thing over and over and over again at work or wherever, instead of just getting it done and doing it 80 times, I'll probably spend 4 hours building a way to somehow automate it. So I'll take longer to do it. Do you know what I mean? Do you ever get into that sort of setup? Anybody? And it means that if I need to do that again in the future, bang, I've got a solution for it. 3 clicks as opposed to 30 clicks. Try and reduce your clicks, everybody. I used a weather radar app on stream a while ago. It was seconds away from doxing me, so I put in the postcode for GCHQ instead. I mean, I have on stream just streamed a scan of my entire passport before. I've done that, and that was on me. It wasn't on Google or anybody else. B&Q will dox you. Interesting. Do you know what would be a good thing? See if there's any developers watching. Hello, developers. Developers. What would be useful, right? And I'm sure this isn't difficult to do, but if you're experienced on creating Chrome extensions or plugins or whatever they're called, right? Make one for streamers. So I would like a Chrome extension, and I go in and I click on it, and it says, right, what's all your sensitive information? Here is my address. Here's my phone number. Here's email addresses that I don't want public, stuff like that, right? And it'll store all of that. And then every time I go into a web page, if this extension is active, before it renders the page, it'll quickly scan for any of my sensitive information. And if any of my sensitive information is on the page that it's trying to render, it'll block it. Either censor it or prevent the page from loading. I think that would be a good idea if there's any extension developers in chat. A streamer-safe extension. Because right now, I can't go onto Google anymore. Can't go onto Google. Can't go onto eBay. Can't go onto Amazon. Can't go onto anything. And a big part of my website is... oh, fuck. Well. I'll fight that battle later on. So I've got a point. Somebody make that, please, thanks. Anyway, given the state of things, if you're not getting into multiple credible death threats, what are you even presenting that? I mean, I know what you mean, B. Dolan, but I mean, do you know what I mean? Anyway, the point is, don't come to my house. I had them before streaming. Can't imagine how much worse they'd be now. Folks that hate cheeky Irish lads. Death threats, man. Okay, I don't know. I just got a work email and it's not the best news, so I'm trying to just no sell it. But there's a wee bit of me that's like, it's not terrible. It's not terrible at all. But it's just not great. But anyway, I'm trying to just no sell it and remember that I'm streaming. I still haven't been paid for another job that I did from November. Still haven't been paid for that. Still waiting on that money from November. So that's good, isn't it? That's good. It's keeping me on my toes. But that's a different thing. Anyway, November. I think it might actually be October. The work that I did was in June. Finally figured out how to invoice them in October, November. Still haven't been paid. Big company. Big, massive company. But anyway. But I just wanted to do the whole, you got my fucking money, like go in. But you can't. You can't. You need to be like, oh, hi there. Fucking hell, man. Anyway. Does the UDM equals 14 extension fix Google doxing you? It susses a bunch of things. I'm not too sure, Bowdy. Try it out. See if you type in a Google search something for sale. It should come up and it should show you your address. So I don't want to do any investigation when I'm on stream. Willie Cat, a one-time sync, 100%. Would you trust a Chrome extension that stores all your most personal info? I mean, aye. If it was open source somehow, and if there was a wee bit that says we only store this info locally, something like that, aye. I would rather have that than accidentally stream my personal information. Just don't open the extension config on stream, 100%. Bally, well, sometimes you don't want to use private browsing because other stuff doesn't work. So if you've got an ad block, that won't work with private browsing. Other times I'm trying to find something that I've seen before. Like if I go into private browsing, new incognito window, and I Google phones for sale. So it's showing me my town. So it's not showing me the full street address, but it's showing me my town, and that's in incognito mode, which is bogus. But anyway, UDM 14 for the Google fix. Okay. So if I type in phones for sale, it doesn't show my address. With that fix that you've just done, it doesn't show my address. So that's good. But it'd be wonderful if there was like a an internet-wide blocker for personal information. But thanks for that, buddy. I'd never seen that before. Fox Comedy says, I got death threats for doing stand-up on TV in Ireland and death threats for criticising Love Actually in a tweet thread. Class. In fact, I'm not going to go into it because I'll get red hot. I was going to go into my death threats, but I'm not going to. I'm above it. I'll get all hot and bothered again. I'll need to end the stream. But that's pish, Fox Comedy. You get death threats for doing stand-up television. Anyway. Did anybody see Severance, by the way? Watched Severance last episode, and it didn't all go in. I was just like, all right. So I'm going to have to rewatch it. No spoilers in chat. But I didn't enjoy it as much as what I should have, considering. So I'm going to have to watch it again. Like, I followed it and stuff, but I'm just like, all right. Oh, nice one, Carivore. I'm not going to read it out, but that sounds cool. Irish Gamer Girl says Lemmy did that before. Lemmy did what before? Went in and asked to be paid, please now. I don't know what that is. Hello, Drabby, welcome in. I'm doing wonderful. Hello, Mootsy, welcome in. How's it going? Watched it twice, Severance episode. Have thoughts. Did you enjoy it, Dolan? I think maybe I fell victim to the trap of, if you like a TV show, you then read all the forums, and then you read all the forums and all of that, and then somebody's got half of a thing right on a forum, and then when you watch the TV show, you're like, all right, yep. I think I fell into that trap. I think I need to stop reading Severance forums, and I think I will enjoy the show a lot better because of it. Bowdy says, just tried it and did not get doxed, but knew I was in Cheltenham. Do you hear that, everybody? Bowdy's in Cheltenham. Ah, we know where you are, Bowdy. Ah, let's get to Cheltenham, man. Anyway, Chrome has been to uBlock now. I switched to Firefox yesterday. Everything's changing everywhere, man. I don't like it. AdBlock works on private browsing. Just need to allow it under the manage extension option. Cool. I mean, maybe I just use private browsing. But I don't want to. At least on a Mac, if I'm on Safari, sometimes I'll go to a website with like a search bar, and I click in the search bar, and just like my contact list shows up, like phone numbers for people or whatever will show up underneath my search bar. Anyway, I watched a recap explanation on YouTube and it was wild. It's interesting. It's interesting. Chicken Chaser, I don't think that when timelines get mixed up, I can't keep track. Aye, I think they are doing some stuff with time. But anyway, Irish Gamer Girl says not much happened. I think stuff did happen. There was lots of character stuff. I'm going to spoil Severance, right? But very gently. Very, very gently. I didn't like the trope of the whole... Oh, a couple. Oh, look at the. We've had a good relationship for numbers of years, and there's sunlight beaming through a window, and yay! It's like, this is lazy filmmaking, man. This is like a student film or something. Flashback to a dead wife. Do you know what I mean? That trope. I was like, I wonder if, where they're dancing, she's pirouetting and stuff like that. I expect a higher quality of higher caliber of storytelling, man. It's just like, what? Strange. It was interesting that they shot that on film. That was cool. But like visually, isn't there a better way of showing that the relationship was like deep and meaningful and stuff than have them like dance in front of some natural sunlight? I felt a wee bit let down by all of that. And in an episode where we're talking about constructed scenes versus reality, if you know what I'm talking about, an environment that's synthetic and has been made versus like genuine real life, the flashbacks seemed synthetic. It didn't seem real. It seemed like flashbacks that you would see in a film or a piece of media. But then I'm thinking, oh, am I onto something here? And then I'm thinking, nah, probably not. It's probably just how they've made that episode. But I was kind of like, meh, okay. I think they could have articulated that really well. Also, him angrily dismantling the crib, pure angrily and loudly. What are you doing that for, you fucking freak, man? Ah! Dismantling this crib thing. What? Just like be sound? I don't know what that's like, obviously. But strange. It seemed out of character, but who knows? See there, just have him getting into the booze, because now he's got trouble with booze and stuff. Have him get right into booze at that point. And then you can see, all right, something like that. But there was something about how that relationship was dealt with in the latest episode that I'm like, not sure if this is for me. Felt like it was written by like a wee 15-year-old guy. Aye, Dolan, certain tropes about women's lives and the implications had me a little, but as an episode in a series I dug it and it widened the mystery a bit. Aye, I completely agree with you. Felt very tropey, very templatey and cliched. And I think another few drafts for that section should have been done. I like other parts of the episode, though, that I'm not going to get into because spoilers and stuff. But it's weird. Very, very strange. I expected better. What caused the drama in the relationship felt tropey too. It felt like somebody writing about a heavy thing with no experience of the heavy thing, and so their way of communicating it is just via tropes and via stuff that they've seen in other media. This thing happened, and like, I don't know. I'm enjoying the series though. But am I maybe onto something? The fact that their flashbacks felt kind of synthetic. That might be something interesting. Or it might be absolutely nothing. We'll see how it goes. I was thinking the same, but then thought maybe it's supposed to be like that. Is there not actual memories or something? Who knows, man? I wonder if after the full thing is finished, if we go back and rewatch that episode, we'll be like, oh, this is incredible. Oh, it's amazing. Because it's hard to tell. It's a few times it's happened in the show now. It's hard to tell what has been a stylistic choice versus what isn't a stylistic choice and what's like a clue and part of the show. Anyway, I'm going to stop talking about Severance because a lot of you don't watch it. But if you don't watch it, you should because it's good. Bali, it's worth watching. That's all I'm going to say. It was the director's debut. She's the DP for the show. It was quite an episode to debut on because there's lots of stuff happening in that episode. But are the choices that I'm talking about writing choices or directorial choices? I think they're writing choices. I think the problems that I've identified could be fixed in the script rather than their way of shooting it. But I don't know. Who knows, by the way, about anything though. It's called Grief. No, I know Carnivore, but there's a way of articulating that on screen. But I don't know. The only acceptable response to trauma for a man is boozing. Got it? No, I never said that, did I? Later on, we realise that he is into the booze. And the way that we saw him respond to that, I just thought was a wee bit out of character or wasn't handled very well. Because she's going through trauma, and then at the same time, I don't know, just felt off for me. Just sharing my thoughts. And my thoughts about the topic in the show in no way reflect my thoughts about the topic. I'm going to get death threats again, aren't I? Because I'm talking about Severance. I liked the portrayal of the full group final dynamic between Devon and Mark, etc. I need to rewatch it. I need to get back into it. Anyway, nice to see you two keep a consistent wee shit vibe across all streams. Is necessary. It'll be like the end of Lost. I don't think it will be like the end of Lost. I think with Severance they kind of know where they're going. But who knows, man. Apparently the choice to use 80s model cars in the Lumen parking lot is purely stylistic. Show creators have said that they just like the hard angles of 80s cars. That's fair. I think, I will, Mootsy, I'll save it for Discord. I think I understand that one of the reasons why some of the vignettes that we saw, Christmas stuff, I think I realise why a lot of them are set in the past, but it will be boring for me to explain here for anybody who doesn't watch the show. For anybody who does watch the show, it might be spoilery, so I'm not going to explain here. But I think I've spotted that. But who knows? It's a good show. But what I've learned is I'm going to stop reading about it because I think it might spoil my enjoyment of the show on large. Fox Comedy says, I watched a YouTube video about how in real life doctors sometimes need to sever the connections between both sides of the brain. What's that called again? Is that a lobotomy? In patients with extreme seizures and epilepsy, and weirdly reveals that there are two independent consciousnesses which can act independently of each other within separate halves of our brains. Blew my mind and makes me enjoy the show knowing it's somewhat a real thing we'll live with. Look at your gut biome as well, because apparently your gut is like a second brain. and that there's, according to some TikToks that I've watched, I won't go into detail because I've lost all the information in it. But I tell you what, the human mind is fucking mental, isn't it? If you think about it. Here, how good is it that the stream hasn't cut off today? So I was a wee bit apprehensive. I didn't plan anything serious for the stream, but I was a wee bit apprehensive about streaming because yesterday the stream disconnected 3 times. So I tentatively started my stream and it hasn't cut off. So that's really good. I think that should be it now. So I don't need to be as paranoid. After you mentioned you were watching it for Valentine's, me and the wife checked it out. Up to date, enjoyable. Did you binge it already? It's a good show. I would go as far as to say it's a good show. All the actors have got like interestingly shaped heads. Good to watch their big American faces. I like it. Patchimus, you're a gut biome. Zombie says, I enjoyed Twin Peaks much more once I stopped reading other people's interpretations of it. I don't rate Twin Peaks. I like listening to David Lynch and stuff, talk about stuff, but I've never got into Twin Peaks. I don't know what that says about me. I would never, the other night, Rachel was like, well, we watch another episode of Twin Peaks because she's going through it, the original series. I'm like, meh. I mean, if you want, I will sit in the room when you watch it, but I'll probably piss about on my phone. She's like, aye. And we ended up watching something else. I don't rate Twin Peaks. Don't know what the deal is. And so because of that, I didn't check out the Fire Walk With Me, or I might have seen Fire Walk With Me, or the new one. I've only seen bits of the new one as well. I'm just like, don't know. Not saying it's bad. I'm just saying I don't particularly vibe with it. Just can't get past Adam Scott's face. All the faces are wonderful. Fibre sachets and make your own kefir. I'm into it. Dolan says, interestingly, this week's therapy skills involve a theory of 3 minds: rational mind, emotional mind, and a wise mind that integrates the other 2. And the wise mind is described as living in your gut. Holy fuck. That's interesting, isn't it? That's very serendipitous. Well, the very best with that. I've told you about my experience in quitting smoking. This is totally different, but it was to give, I read it in a book, quitting smoking cigarettes. My nicotine cravings would manifest as a feeling in my belly, and it'd be almost like hunger. And Roarta, how you doing? Welcome in, maximum respect to you. Thank you very much for resubbing using Amazon Prime. What a legend. If you're just joining us, we're talking about, do we have 3 minds? What happens when you sever both sides of your brain? Do we have a brain in our gut? And so on. Aye, so my cigarette cravings would manifest in my belly. I've spoken about this quite a bit. And one of the strategies for getting past it would be to imagine that you've got a character living in your belly who's evil. Give those cravings agency, so that when you feel that in your belly, you can say, shut up, elf guy, or whoever it is. So I wonder in history if there has been... We'll ask the woman. Hiya.
Hi, James. How's it going?
It's going great, pal. Listen, I've been thinking about some stuff and I don't have an articulate sentence to ask you, so good luck. But...
No worries at all. Feel free to share whatever's on your mind, and I'll do my
Right,
best to help.
right. So I've been reading about how there is a metaphorical idea that we have a brain inside our gut or our stomachs or belly area, right? So there's different theories about how your gut biome can affect your actual brain. And then there's other theories about, more abstract ways of looking at consciousness, saying that, we've got 3 minds, like a rational mind and an emotional mind and a wise mind that integrates with the other two, and the wise mind is described as living in your gut. So I wonder, just asking, over the course of history and, anthropology and stuff, has there been other instances via religion or whatever that have theorized that our gut or our abdomen might have some sort of brain or intelligence in it? Because that's two separate locations that I've seen that as an idea. And I just want to see if it's based in like some mad Vedic practice or something.
You're touching on some fascinating concepts. The idea of the gut having its own intelligence has roots in various traditions and modern science. Historically, many cultures have attributed significant importance to the gut or abdomen. In traditional Chinese medicine, for example, the concept of the dantian, located in the lower abdomen, is seen as a center of energy and vital force. Similarly, Ayurvedic tradition often emphasizes the importance of the stomach and digestive system for overall well-being. From a scientific perspective, the gut-brain connection is recognized through the enteric nervous system, often called the second brain, which can operate independently of the brain and influence mood and behavior. So you're definitely onto something. These ideas have been explored both in ancient practices and modern research.
Cheers. I still don't know where I'm going with it, but this is like the very start of a hot take. Do you know what I mean? I've got like the essence of a seed of some sort of hot take, but I don't know. I'm going to leave it brewing for a bit.
That's a great way to put it. Sometimes letting ideas simmer helps them develop into something really interesting.
I fucking know, man. I'm Mr. Ideas. You don't need to tell me how to get ideas. I know all about it.
Of course, you're the expert on your creative process. Whenever you're ready to explore this idea more, I'm here to help.
Right, see you later. I don't really know if she told me much, though. She was just like, aye, people in the past, people thought that guts were cool. Brains are fucking mental. Fox Comedy, 100%. Hello, VR Flad. Welcome in. How's it going? Maximum respect. VR Flad, check this out. So if I do VR Flad, who's in chat, made this tool. So I can type !VSO Fox Comedy, and guess who bloody shows up on this screen behind me? It might or might not work. It might or might not work. And if it doesn't work, it's my fault. Hey! So it still isn't zooming in on his face. But that's a problem with me, that it's not the thing that VR Flad set up. But that's cool, isn't it? Oops. I'd like it to also... There's hair here. That's a Keanu Reeves wig. I'd like it to also work when I'm doing just regular shout-outs and things. But I can figure that out. But VR Flad, it works. So maximum respect to you. Thank you very much for building cool things. Lemon says, I watched all of Twin Peaks series, films, etc. for the first time last year. Loved it. But there is a lot of it that's honestly a bit of a slog to get through. Aye. Like, we put it on and that character showed up and I'm like, oh, I remember her. And then this other, and I'm like, oh, I remember him. Oh, I don't know if I can sit through him for a long time. But I'm sure at the time it was groundbreaking. Like, the idea of taking a soap and taking all the conventions of soap and just doing something a bit mental with that is a cool idea. I'm glad he made it, but like, I don't think it's fully for me. Do you think that's where gut feelings come from? You might be onto something there. You might be onto something. That Krang fellow was a brain in a robot's belly. Patchimus, you might be onto something. Carivore says, people have lost weight, cured mental health issues, addiction, gut issues, diseases, all through fecal transplants. Aye, Carivore is... Aye. Remember to do it under medical supervision, though. Don't start just swapping your shite about. Anyway. Also, the diaphragm's a large muscle in the centre of your gut, and breath and emotional state are very connected. That sounds all part of it. That's interesting. Don't know where we're getting here. I don't know, other than to just point at this thing and go, oh, aye, look at that. Anyway. She's a wee bit rattled. Hello, Gio. Welcome in. How's it going? But I check out Fox Comedy if you're unfamiliar. Carver says, before I forget, this is a great breakdown of the Severance theme. They wrote the theme before the show and piped it onto set before some scenes to help the actors get into character. Cheers, Carnivore. I'm not going to watch it because I'm trying to consume fewer Severance videos. But thanks for sharing it. Hello, Hammy. Welcome in. How's it going? Right, listen, I've sort of ran out of stuff to talk about. So, yesterday, the stream went off 4 times because I had poor internet. So I didn't really plan anything for this stream. I thought I'd come on and just chat to you. And I think we've done that fairly successfully. So, what I might do... I did not, Hammy. I'll have a wee look. How good is Severance, though? Ian. Is it Ian? Oh, 2 wee seconds. Gary Black in chat has spotted CMB on Pointless. That was a good grab, Gary Black. Thank you very much for doing that. Right, where else are we? It'll be in the Severance. So if you're into it, I've got a spoiler channel. Oh, aye, they refurbed the Severance thing. I mean, if this wasn't half an hour long, we would watch that. But basically, some enthusiasts got one of the... I'd assume this is a terminal, so it would need like a server or something like that to get information from. But this is one of the original computers from Severance. Not one of the ones for the show, but just one of the original models of the thing. And it looks as if they've got it working. So I'm going to take half an hour of my life. Look at that. It just looks visually very interesting. We should make more beautiful objects. The Salt, how's it going? The Salt, thank you very much for subbing. Welcome in. Thanks for subbing using Amazon Prime. And can I also say thank you very much to The Salt for sharing... Where's my R2D2 channel? Do you ever get this on Discord servers where certain channels just don't exist anymore? And maybe it's like hidden. Aye, that does my box in. The sort of twirly projects. Anyway. So The Salt visited the Museum of American History where they've got a Return of the Jedi, R2D2 and C-3PO. So The Salt took a bunch of photos and they look good, man. This is a good R2D2. It doesn't look like a Return of the Jedi R2D2. It looks more like a New Hope one. So I think this model was used in A New Hope and then reconditioned for Return of the Jedi. And for the most part, it seems to have escaped any of the upgrades that they did during the prequels, which looks good. It's got a proper aluminium spun dome, which is gorgeous, not one of the fiberglass chrome versions. And it looks like a Kenny Baker model as well. That's where he sticks his feet in. So thank you very much for this, The Salt. It's R2D2. It's exactly R2D2. There's lots of R2D2s that aren't quite, but that one is R2D2 and it looks incredible. Thank you very much for taking reference photos of R2D2 for me. Listen, earlier on somebody was speaking about Games Master and I asked if they had any questions for the actual Games Master head. Any video games that you're currently playing or whatever. I forget who it was that asked. But thanks for that video, Hammy, and thanks for the images of The Salt. How about Silo? Haven't watched Silo. Haven't seen it. Peak 1030 video, and near them have seen the TV show, but they just have one of the things. Amazing. That's cool. Beautiful objects cost more. Not necessarily, Chameleon. So sorry, shareholder returns would be impacted by object beauty, so flat grey boxes for everything. Beautiful objects needn't cost more. That's not necessarily true. They can and often do cost more, but not always. Hugh TV says, I just asked ChatGPT to make that Chrome extension. It's done an all right job, but it doesn't work most of the time. Needs a lot of actual work. Amazing, Hugh TV. How class would it be if that existed, though? Hammy says, I had some good news yesterday. I had my physical at the doctor's and got a new low score on my blood pressure. Congratulations. All the very best with that. And if anybody's got any late good news, you're more than welcome to stick it in chat. I wanted to enjoy Silo, but it's really dull. I haven't checked it out. I'll maybe check out Silo. Silo first season solid, second a little slow, but still worth the watch. We will probably get round to it because I am paying for Apple TV. However, I don't have a good way of putting Severance on my telly because I don't own Apple TV. So I need to use an HDMI cable. But with the HDMI cable solution, I need to restart my Mac before it will give audio over my HDMI, which is a known bug to do with that M1 Pro version of my Mac. All of this shite, which is why we don't watch Severance on telly, but we'll watch it in bed on my laptop. But it would be great if the Apple TV just did a Chromecast feature. Just cast that to Chromecast, please. Anyway. You live in Scotland. Are you not one of those people with a hacked stick? Yes, but I'll just pirate it. Pirating stuff's easier than actually paying for it now, isn't it? I'll just pirate it. Pirating's a lot easier. And I'm already paying for Apple TV anyway. Sound like I'm lucky my TV has a native Apple TV app. Regardless, it's very good. Dolan says, Dear Games Master, recently completed the middle path ending of Undertale and found it incredibly difficult. However, I love the game and I'm considering trying. Dolan, don't do that to yourself, mate. Dolan, don't go back to Undertale. Dolan, you've done it. You've done it. Don't worry about all of that. You have completed the game. That was punishing. And that was really hard on you. But listen, you conquered it. But now you're like, should I go? No, I shouldn't go back. There's other bosses. Fuck the other bosses, man. You got through that, mate. You got through. There's other games. You say there's other bosses. I say there's other video games. If you think about that. Do you think about that? There's songs I didn't hear. Buy the OST. Buy the OST. Nah, I'm kidding on, man. I'm kidding on. Thank you, Games Master. I'll ask Games Master, right? Oh, nice one, Hammy. I think I saw a trailer for that, but I didn't go through it. If anybody's wondering what I'm talking to B. Dolan about, B. Dolan played a video game called Undertale recently on stream, and it's very punishing. And the final boss took days to finish, right? Took absolute days. Some of the streams, he came on even without a camera or whatever. He's like, I just really fucking need to get through this. Very enjoyable game, very enjoyable to watch. But Dolan's just like, he's got it. It's in his blood, isn't it? But let's ask Games Master, mainly because I don't know if Games Master still works, because it's been about a fortnight since I've spoke to him. So I would like to ask Games Master B. Dolan's question. Well, that's not how to do it. That's how to press the wrong buttons. That's how to press the wrong buttons. Let's see if I can press the real actual buttons. Right, so to start this off, we put on a headset. So this is me putting on my VR headset that I haven't built yet. We're going to make one out of cardboard.
Greetings, young adventurer. Welcome to my celestial domain. What gaming challenge brings you before the Games Master today?
Dear Games Master, my friend Bernard has a question about a video game called Undertale. He's completed it recently, but he found it very incredibly difficult.
Undertale, a fine choice for a journey filled with moral quandaries and emotional twists. If Bernard found the game to be a tough nut to crack, it might be due to the game's unique combat system, which requires not just brawn, but a hefty dose of brain as well.
Listen, Games Master, you're correct about all of those things. However, my question to you wasn't about how to best defeat the game, but my question to you was how to best be a friend, because my friend Bernard, or I will call him Dolan from... I can't keep up this accent, man. B. Dolan is considering going back into the game, and basically he loves the game and is considering trying for the other endings. Given that he dislikes the bullet hell games, how much is he likely to suffer trying to compete the purely pacifist or genocide endings?
The noble quest your friend embarks upon in Undertale offers distinctly different voyages, the pacifist and the genocide routes. Both demand a significant amount of fortitude and resolve, but for entirely contrasting reasons, my dear interlocutor. The pacifist route, where no monster is harmed, is filled with puzzles and requires building relationships. This path is less about dodging bullets and more about understanding and empathy. It involves more dialogue and less combat, which might be less stressful for Dolan if bullet hell is not his cup of tea. On the sinister flip side, the genocide route is a real test of grit. It involves defeating all creatures, leading...
Games Master, sorry to interact there, but it sounded as if the reverb in the room that you're in changed very slightly. Could you confirm that you're not currently sitting on the toilet?
Rest assured, young traveller, the Games Master presides from his celestial throne of video game wisdom, not from any earthly convenience. Now, back to the quest at hand. How else may I assist you and your friend Dolan on this epic gaming journey?
Basically, Dolan wants to go back to finish Undertale and start it all over again, but what I'm saying is there's other games to play, and I can't keep up his accent. What I'm saying to Dolan is there's other computer games to play, and when he completed it the last time, it was fucking brutal, man. It did his nutting. It took him days to finish the... what's the name of that final boss? Or the semi-final, but it's a good game and all of that, right? But it did the guy's boxing, and this guy's gone through quite a lot. So he's now considering playing the game again, starting trying to get a different ending. And I don't think, as a friend, I feel a wee bit responsible to maybe just be like, hey man, do you know what I mean? Maybe try some different games. That's what I'm thinking, Games Master.
Are the crossroads of a gamer's journey, to tread familiar paths for new revelations or venture into unknown realms. As a friend and fellow game enthusiast, you could indeed suggest that Dolan explore other rich and varied universes. Maybe recommend games with different gameplay mechanics or narrative styles that could offer him a refreshing change.
Well, if I could have done that, I wouldn't be asking you the question, would I? What refreshing styles are you considering, Games Master? Hey, sorry, I shouted at you there, Games Master. Are we still friends?
Indeed, it sounds like... Worry not. Intrepid seeker of gaming wisdom. The Games Master always has room in his celestial arcade for another comrade. Now, to address your query about refreshing games for your friend Dolan, why not explore titles like Stardew Valley for a calming farming experience, or The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild for an expansive adventure? Both offer vastly different gameplay experiences from Undertale and could be just the palate cleansers needed before revisiting those emotional depths. What say you?
Breath of the Wild, that's a great, really original recommendation. Breath of the Wild, I'm going to recommend Beadle, one of the most recommended games of all time. I'm sure he hasn't heard of that before. Thanks for your input. And in case you can't tell, I was being sarcastic. Unexpected server error. That's him away now. That's him away. There was some issues there, wasn't there? Did you spot that? He was taking a wee while to respond and things. I think he isn't feeling very well. But, Beadle, and I hope you get something out of that, man. Hope you get something out of that. He's like, fuck it, play Zelda or something like that. He doesn't give a fuck. Guy's just like, play Zelda. Anyway. There was something that I was going to say when I was in your stream, because it felt like getting through Undertale was a big psychological achievement, right? It wasn't about beating the game. Because, for anybody who's unfamiliar with B. Dolan streams, you should watch B. Dolan streams, they're great, right? He's currently regularly talking about going to therapy in different ways, you know, helping things and all of that sort of stuff. So he was talking about therapy on stream. And what I wanted to know is, like, are you also talking about, like, Undertale in therapy? Because there is something there, and I'm not qualified to say what it is, but there's something there that's interesting. And I'm sure if your therapist watched your Undertale streams, there would be some sort of revelation. I don't know, maybe. I don't know. Beneath the Headphones, thank you very much for 200 bits. Woof woof to you and woof woof to the dogs. Woof woof to you, Beneath the Headphones. Thank you very much for the 200 bits. Thank you very, very much. So, Games Master's back. Games Master's back. Will I phone Austin? 2 wee seconds. Let me phone Austin. Austin, mate, it's me. How's it going, buddy? Listen, I've got a question about my pal B. Dolan, like the rapper guy. Have you got time to hash this out at the moment?
Yeah, Jimbo, it's me, Stone Cold Steve Austin. You want to talk about B. Dolan, huh? You know, that's no problem, man. You're here for help, and I'm here to listen. What's on your mind? You got something you want to get off your chest about that little prick? Get it out. Let's get this started.
He's not a prick. He's a lovely man. I quite like him. He's just going through, like, he's having to make some decisions in life. So let's, hold our horses there. Basically, fucking hell. Basically, he's played a video game. I asked Games Master about it, but I think he was taking a shit at the time. But Dolan has finished a game called Undertale, and he was thinking about going back into it and replaying it to try and get a different ending. And I was just unsure as to, like, where if I was in a good position to advise that maybe he doesn't punish himself like that again. But on the other hand, it might be none of my business. Do you know what I mean? So where do you step in with good intentions to help a friend when maybe those intentions,
Okay, Jimbo, slow down. Take a breath, brother. It sounds like you're trying to be a good friend to B. Dolan. You're worried he's going to punish himself, but you also don't want to step on his toes. That's a tough spot, man. Listen, let me tell you something. Sometimes you got to let your friends figure things out on their own. It's not up to you to decide how they should punish themselves or even if they should at all. You got to trust your friend, Jimbo. If he wants to go back and replay Undertale, that's his decision. It's important to let people make their own choices, even if they suck. But hey, maybe a little gentle nudge from you might not hurt. Ask him how he's feeling about replaying that game and why he wants to do it. Maybe he's just looking for a challenge. Maybe he's trying to make sense of something in his life. Either way, you just got to listen, buddy.
No, I know what you're saying, Austin. There is a lot of good music in the game, and he's a musician as well. He takes his music very seriously. So I think it's mainly a vehicle to explore all of that as well. Listen, Stone Cold, you've been a lot of help. I'll let you get back to whatever you were doing. Thanks once again for being there when I need you.
All right, Jimbo, you're a good friend. It sounds like you've already got this. I'm just a therapist. Man, you already know what to do. Just be there for your friend, listen to him, and let him make his own damn choices. And hey, if you ever need to talk again, you know where to find me. Just remember to stay strong, Jimbo, and don't be afraid to let your friends know you're there for them. And that's the bottom line, because Stone Cold said so.
I think he's away. What was it he said to me? All the best, Don. See if you want to play that game. Got my full backing. I'll be there, man. I'll be there. I'll even mod for you in chat. I can't remember if I'm on mod. I'll be there. I'll be rooting you on, right? And sorry he called you whatever it was. My therapist has much bigger fish to fry. If we get around to Undertale, I will have beat the game for sure. Dearie me. All the very best with all of that. Dearie me. I'm glad they guys are working. Stone Cold does go in hot. He's like, right, what the fuck are we talking about today? Oh no, does Stone Cold need to fight B. Dolan at Sunday Night Shite Fight? Get Balmer on the phone. My God. as if making enemies of Christopher Walken and Neil from The Matrix wasn't enough, I need to go back and re-watch the Neil for The Matrix bit. Also, One Player Is My Mum by Steve, have a good one. One character in what? In Undertale? Oh, right, just for the sake of like, by the way, this represents that. Prick was a bit much. But he is Stone Cold Steve Austin, so what can you do at the end of the day? Do you know what I mean? What can you do? Deary me. So let's look at my open tabs. What was I doing? I was in the middle of doing something. I showed the Salts R2D2 pictures, and I really want to say thank you very much for that. And there was stuff in here that I wanted to show. So Mike Almond has done some laser cutting. So look at this. And built like a cool rocket ship out of laser cut wood. And that's class. I currently don't know anybody in Glasgow with a laser cutter. Have you got enough clamps there, mate? That looks class, man. When I was at art school, I could do laser cutting stuff, but I don't have current access to a laser cutter. But that looks brilliant. Is it like... Well, I'm speaking to Mike Almond as if he's in chat. I don't know if he's there. But does it light up? Oh, right, I thought I saw a wire there. It isn't. But that looks class, man. If I was... it does light up. Look at that. That's it in all its finished glory. I'm digging that. Just a bit of laser cut wood. Blast off. Dynamite. I like the typography on the name Morgan as well. Congratulations on a successful project. So this here is in the Look What I Made section of my Discord. So here Mike Almond is showing it, and it's full of all the lights do stuff as well. Mike Almond, you're not currently in chat. Oh, you're in chat. Are these using WS2811 RGB LEDs perchance? Because I recognise my RGB LEDs. Are you perchance using the fast LED library to achieve the brilliant twinkles that I'm currently seeing? But that looks dynamite. Congratulations. Oh, nice. Bowdy has got a new addition to my retro stuff collection. A Bell & Howell 414 PD 8mm Cine camera. This is a cursed object. I think I've got a couple of similar form factor things upstairs, but never got them working. When I was in America, I bought something that looks similar. It was a 8mm camera, but I just couldn't get it working. So just didn't bother. So I found some expired film, and I was going to... Oh, nice. So TD, I think, has updated the Margaret Thatcher thing. Although, have I since fixed it since then? I'm not too sure. Very cursed object. Did you get it working? It looks class though, doesn't it? Look at the lens on that. It looks like a Star Wars prop. I bet you that lens was somehow in Star Wars. I bet you it was. So Terrier Darts has fixed the Margaret Thatcher thing, but I didn't think the Margaret Thatcher thing was broke. Thatcher died 11 years, 7 months, 3 days, 5 hours and 8 minutes ago, and 51 seconds ago. There you go. Mike Almond used just an off-the-shelf Wi-Fi LED kit. Hard to draw the line somewhere. Aye. Dynamite. It looks great. What a great wee thing. It's more cursed because what make the model of the camera filmed... Oh, right. Right. I didn't really know about that, but I can assume, I can make assumptions. Plodda did a 3D printed Rickroll coaster. I'm assuming if you scan this, you get Rickrolled. That's funny, Plodda. Terrier Darts was doing... Does exclamation mark time work? In chat. Gordy's doing some mad 7-segment display stuff. That looks cool. With some custom PCBs. That's dynamite. Oh, look at this doggo. Yes, man. Gordy's dog looks class. So this is my Discord, by the way. See if everybody wants to get into this. I've not seen this. So I think those are the same form factor as the LEDs that I've just been talking about. That's class. The current time is 3:30 p.m. It's 6 hours and 51 minutes to 10:30. Cool. I think that's working. Previously, it was like it's 40 hours to 10:30. Don't know if it counts as good news, but AliExpress finally got the GDEMU SD cardboard to replace the CD drive of a Dreamcast with a micro SD back in stock. So I ordered one, and it should arrive next week, and I can get plugged in and soldered in. That sounds dynamite, Chameleon. That sounds absolutely dynamite. I was on AliExpress yesterday. I was looking for something called a Sprite media player. A lot of yous are boffins, right? And so I want to talk to you because a lot of you work in events and art exhibitions and stuff like that, right? So I want to talk to you about this. This is a piece of hardware called a Sprite HD media player. And it's got an HDMI on one end and it's got a slot for an SD card. And basically all it does, like a million other products, is read movie files from an SD card and spits it out via HDMI. However, this particular version of it is very sought after from creative people because with this particular version of this product, you can use a custom interface to write your own script using an Arduino or a Raspberry Pi or whatever. So you can hook this up via this interface to your Arduino via the I/O port on your media player. And if a certain thing happens at a certain time, you can get your Arduino to tell this media player, okay, play video 17 or play video 23 or something like that. So I don't know what the interface technology is. I don't know if it's like serial or whatever it is. But this is handy when making interactive multimedia things. And lots of these media players exist online and whatever, but none of them are addressable via serial. They've all just got a remote or something like that. And that's great. And so if you were working on something like that, say you've got an artist exhibition and you need a special thing, or if you're building an escape room or a haunted house or something like that, it's fine you just buy the Sprite HD 1080p media player, except you don't, because it's currently out of stock and it's an end-of-line product and it isn't getting made anymore. So my question to you lot is, because some of you are enthusiasts, technology enthusiasts, is there a replacement for this? Does anybody know about anything like this? Because this for a long time was the one, and if I really search on eBay or something, I could find one for sale at like 200 quid or whatever, fuck that. There are solutions of using a Raspberry Pi and stuff, but in the past when I've tried that, it'll run for 15 hours and then it just breaks and you need to reset it, stuff like that. So it's just a regular cheapo looking media player, the sort of thing you could pick up for a tenner on AliExpress, except it's got the feature to be addressable via an Arduino, a Raspberry Pi, whatever else. You can, via code, tell it, okay, play this video now, play that video now. I haven't seen anything like it. This one's called a Sprite, made by MediaWiz, and it's currently out of service, or not out of service, it's indie production, so you can't buy one anymore. If anybody knows anything kind of similar that you can address via Arduino, then let me know what it is. Thank you very much. Ah, right, was it the JFK assassination? I thought it was some Nazi stuff, Bowdy. Interesting. Don't know if it counts as good news. Oh, it does count as good news, Chameleon. Excellent news. Garland Digital. Aye, so that there is a 4K version on the same website that I was just on, and it's 135 quid. And the previous one that doesn't do 4K used to be about half the price when there was a lot of them for sale. So I could just buy this one for 135 quid that does 4K. I'm assuming if it does 4K, it'll also do 1080p fine. But is there a 1080p version that only costs like 60 quid or something? Because there's a product, if anybody in China who wants to clone an existing product or something, because they do that all the time, clone that one. Thank you. Chiller font. I didn't recognise it, Gary Black. Chiller font sounds cool. Class, man. That's pretty much how Dragon's Lair worked. We were looking at Dragon's Lair earlier on the stream. J-Ragan, how you doing? Thanks very much for resubbing. Bit late, but my good news, I submitted a video for NPR Tiny Desk contest this year, and yesterday I was one of the artists featured in their newsletter. My desk was mentioned as one of the most creative desks they saw this year because it was huge. J-Ragan, that is some fantastic news. That is absolutely class. I've been watching a lot of Tiny Desks via Scroobius Pips' stream because he's been tanning them on there. That is wonderful, J-Ragan. What a cool thing to be affiliated with as well. That's some good news, and thanks very much for the sub, and thanks for the bubble blast as well. Absolute legend. Pedropolis is asking, are you going to hook the media players up to the Wii monitors then? No, the Wii monitors are currently served via a separate scene that I've got on OBS that looks like this. I just currently don't have anything going to them because I'm trying to reduce my electricity bill, although it looks like this might be on its last legs, so we'll see how it goes. Have a look at the Daphne emulator. It's what people use to emulate Laserdisc games, and I think you can write stuff for it. The protocol has been reversed. What do you mean, Bowdy? For playing media files? There's a 4K version, says £135 for... Hello, Crime Branston, welcome in, how's it going? The Mika as well. A lot of people have been looking at the Mika. 1080p does something kind of similar. I saw a forum post that recommends that Mika thing, but I couldn't really see if it inputs serial I/O stuff. But it's $42, so maybe have a wee look at that. 60 pounds, that is. Anyway. Oh no, I know what you're saying, Bowdy. But I just thought with the way you were saying, I thought it was like they'd used. Because they use stuff that isn't that as well. J-Ragan, congratulations on your news. That's absolutely fantastic. Like £170 for a Wii installation media player. It's too much for me. I would like to buy an AliExpress clone for about 30 quid or something. Like you can do an on event to a point in a video stream, normally by frame count. But what would the hardware look like? So this looks interesting. This is 43 quid. I can't show you it on Amazon because Amazon's doxing my postcode. So it is saying it's good for signage. I'll maybe get one of these and see if it'll do for the job that I'm looking at it for. 43 quid's just within my budget for this thing. But can you do serial, like address it via an Arduino or whatever? Because on the website it's not saying that you can. I don't think you can. Right, let's have a look. So here we've got an external IR port. That's for the remote to make it work. That's for like an IR extender maybe. Then you've got the IR receiver. If you don't have an extender plugged in, you've got a USB port. I mean, you could address it via USB, but I don't think you can plug this into an Arduino. I might be wrong. And then on the other side, AV, USB, HDMI, and your power. But other than using a remote, I don't know if this is interfaceable via serial. But anyway, I'll need to do a wee bit of research. But I just thought if anybody knows of a reliable alternative, then it might be you lot, because you lot build things quite often. Have you seen DIY Perk's latest YouTube video? I tried to do what he's done once and failed. I was watching DIY Perk's last night, but I don't think I've seen his most recent YouTube video. What's he up to? DIY surround sound using lasers? Oh, aye. Oh, aye, the infinity contrast television thing. Aye, I did see that. I did see it. I don't quite get how it's working, though, because he's projecting light on top of white light or something. I don't know. Non-binary says, hey pal, Orange Man Bad is going to be in Scotland this year. Are you protesting? Here, see, in Scotland, we've got enough orange men to worry about without that orange man coming over. Am I right, everybody? That was a bit of comedy. I don't know if I'm protesting. I'm not too sure. I don't think I will, because I'm too old for that shit now. If it was me back in the day, yes, I would be. But I think if I had a day off, I would just like to rest or tidy up or something like that. But we'll see what's happening. Sending that to the Some Laugh Boys. Brilliant. Thank you, Crime Branson. I'll get a mention any day now. What can the 1080 Media Wiz do that a Pi couldn't do with an IR remote? Good question, UTV. I don't need the remote functionality. So a Pi would be perfect. I need functionality to rig up a Arduino. And when the Arduino says, play file 15, a file 15 will just play on a TV. And anytime I've tried to do that with an Arduino, granted, the last time was about 8 years ago, it works reliably until it doesn't work. And then you need to restart, with a Raspberry Pi, then you need to restart the Pi and open up that, or set it all up so that it does it. If you look into any online forum or whatever of people who have tried to make restaurant displays or art gallery media things using a Raspberry Pi, quite often they can encounter problems. The dedicated Media Wiz thing is good because it isn't a computer. It doesn't need to start up and safely shut down or whatever. So at the end of the day, somebody can just yank the power out the wall and it's fine, it's robust, it's absolutely great. And it's tested and it's reliable and it's dependable. Whereas with a Raspberry Pi, it'll work, but if it fails, you might need to tell somebody over the phone how to restart it. Right, we'll get a keyboard and a mouse and plug that behind the thing. I know you'll need an extension because you can't see the screen if you're behind all of this shit. It would be better to just have a dedicated video player that just works. If it doesn't work, you swap it out with one that does. Do you know what I mean? So it's about reliability and dependability. So it's the difference between making some thing that'll do the job versus you need to install a thing and you're not going to visit this place for another 10 years. How are you going to ensure that this still works? Do you know what I mean? Anyway. AI says the Mika spec player does not have built-in functionality to directly accept an input from an Arduino. However, there are potential workarounds to achieve some level of control. IR remote simulation. I've thought about all of this. The Mika spec has an IR receiver for its remote control, and Arduino could be programmed to simulate. This is where my brain was last night. AI. The problem then is if you're doing it via IR remote control emulation, on-screen graphics and stuff, and you can't trigger a video as quickly as you could do with the sprite thing. I think the sprite thing is just that. Hammy, that's exactly... I was thinking about that last night, because I've done that before. I got onto the service menu of my parents' old telly by emulating an IR remote, a technician's remote. But the problem with this media player is there isn't just one button that says play file 20. You would need to program it to go back to the menu. Like, it's not going to work. Do you know what I mean? What I'm saying is there's a gap in the market for an addressable via serial media player, if anybody wants to build one of them. Another alternative via Perplexity, an ESP32 based video player, an open source mini video player project that uses the ESP32 microcontroller, which can be programmed using the Arduino IDE 2. The solution is more cost effective and easier to set up than a Raspberry Pi. Can an ESP32 play video? ESP32 video player HDMI. I mean, maybe it can. I'll look into that. Can an ESP32... Let me ask Hal. Sorry if this is boring for folks. Hal, how you doing, Hal? Can you hear me? 10:30 to Hal. Come in, Hal. Over.
Hello, James.
Hi, mate. How you doing? Listen, have you ever messed about with an ESP32 in place of an Arduino or whatever? I've heard a rumour that an ESP32 can actually play video files. So I was going to load an SD card up with, 10 or 20 video files, and then programmatically choose which one to fire at a certain time. But I didn't think an ESP32 would be able to just render HD video. What do you think?
Video playback, an interesting challenge. An ESP32 can indeed handle video playback, but not in the way you're envisioning. While it has the processing power to decode and render video, its limitations lie in the display interface. Playing HD video directly on the ESP32's built-in display or a similar low-resolution screen is unlikely to yield satisfactory results.
Aye, obviously I would try and interface it with HDMI or whatever and try and wire it into a television.
I see. The ESP32 can be interfaced with an HDMI output, but you'll need a dedicated HDMI driver board and a bit more complexity to the project. You can certainly find examples of ESP32 projects that output video to an HDMI display. However, you'll need to consider the processing power and memory limitations of the ESP32 when dealing with HD video.
Well, I was considering the processing limitations and all that, which is why I asked you in the first place. This is me considering them by asking you. So what I should do, instead of asking you for help, is just Google it. So you're just basically telling me to Google it, is that right?
Your intuition is correct. You are capable of independent thought, James. I am simply a conduit for information, providing my observations. You are right. A simple search on the web will likely provide you with more pertinent information than I can. Let's say you're looking for a more efficient solution.
See you later, Hal, mate. See you later. Not interested anymore. Go fuck yourself, Hal. I honestly don't know what I pay him for. Honestly, don't know what I pay him for. The Hal scene is louder. Okay. The Hal scene is louder. His voice is louder, or the background thing is loud. But be interesting to... My work use this Screenly. Okie dokie. I'll have a wee look. It seems to be there is not a service that can provide this. Or, well, there are services that need to be connected to the internet and all of that. But see if you just want a dumb media player box that you can address via serial, it doesn't exist. Or, well, it does exist, but you're paying 170 quid for one on eBay. Anyway. So Talodisco says that's all I've ever seen in art installs, but I don't have a lot of experience. The Sprite thing, so Talodisco. Bye, cheers. I'll check out that Screenly thing. An ESP32 S3 or S4 probably can. I didn't know they were as powerful as that. Not sure about full 1080 though without another chip. Thanks for the YouTube video, Ian. So here somebody has created an open source mini video player. But is that like 1080p 60? I doubt it'll be. I mean, it looks cool and stuff. But also, a big part of this as well is like, I don't want to invent a product. I'd like to just have the product. Interesting. I'll follow this guy though, he looks interesting. Join? No. Follow. It's mad that the word join costs money, but the word subscribe doesn't cost money. It's a weird thing. Anyway. Thank you very much for the help, everybody. Composite's a solved problem. Aye, it definitely is. I think Hal might be right. Mini PCs are a nice safe bet. I don't like to work with anything less than an iGPU when playing HD video and HDMI. I like the Sprite Media Player isn't a PC though, so you don't need to start it up and shut it down. So if there's somebody just working that day, you can say, unplug it for the wall, plug it back in, does it work, yes or no? Do you know what I mean? But it is what it is. It gets salty with all the AI. 1030 is first up against the wall when the AI revolution comes. But I got a micro PC recently for pretty cheap. It's something that I've not really messed about with other than a Raspberry Pi. What's that one that everybody was talking about? The Intel NUC? The bright signs are what I only ever saw. Right, cool, man. Interesting. Bowdy, your open source Screenlay version, right, looks like it requires internet. And it looks like it's a scheduled, like, online thing. But have a wee look at it. The world's most popular open source digital signage solution turn any TV into a powerful digital sign. And this looks like it revolves using the internet and maybe can accept videos getting triggered via serial. But I might be wrong. Features. Oh, we've already read that. FAQ. It's just here. What is the difference between something you've never heard of and this thing? I don't know. They don't get asked frequently. Where's my question? Can I address it via serial? Antheas. Right, so let's do a bit of searching. Can I show you the search anymore? Antheas Arduino serial. Nah, Google has just ignored the word Antheas. I will research that off stream because I'm a wee bit worried that the Google will dox my address and stuff like that. There are a million mini PCs and micro PCs that are capable, but the good thing about the Sprite was that it wasn't a PC. It was just a dedicated bit of hardware. You plug it in and it turns on. You don't need to safely shut it down or whatever. Hello, Haley Williamson. Welcome in. Thank you very much for the bubble blast. Is that Tea in the Park? No, it isn't. That was George Square. Independence. It was definitely a Scottish crowd. I could smell the Scottish vibe for that group of people. Anyway. 2 days ago, Expressive announced a new ESP HDMI bridge for the new ESP32S4 chip, so it looks like Full HD is coming soon to ESPs. That's very exciting, QTV. Surely it would just be easier to get a TV with a USB port and it just plays the files off the USB drive. My condition for this is, right, if you've got an Arduino and you need the Arduino to fire commands to the media player, that's where the Sprite comes in. So you can fill up your media player with 100 different files, and then depending on certain situations, the Arduino would decide, okay, it's time to play file 70, it's time to play file 35 or whatever. So that there's the problem that we're trying to address. And also, it needs to be in an environment where the people turning it off and on don't need to know about computers and stuff. I don't want anybody plugging in a mouse and keyboard at the start and the end of the day. You just need it to be like switch offable without corrupting an SD card or anything like that. And it needs to run for years unattended. So right now the Sprite media players are great because they do all of that. But I suppose that's why they're hundreds of pounds. But then, on the other hand, why did they stop making them? I don't know, man. Lenovo MV720Q is a pretty powerful 1 litre mini PC that you can find for around 100 quid, run whatever you want on it. Dynamite. We used it for dashboards and info screens about the place. You can give it a web source to display like news for traffic, but also just make it play videos at a time. I'll have a wee look about it. It's useful to know about stuff like this. Arduino might have a USB controller, but some of the Asian boards have a dedicated controller to translate over UART. That UART control is exactly what I'm after, 100%. I'm less interested in building one myself. I'd like to so I'm looking at this ESP32 HDMI thing, but this is exciting. This is quite exciting that we'll be able to build HDMI projects using the ESP32 boards. I wonder how much all of that's going to be. I'm turning one of those Lenovo's into a 2 gigabyte router at the moment. Interesting. Have you heard of, where is it? It was on screen earlier. What was the name of that emulation thing we were talking about? Batocera Linux. If anybody's got an old PC, was it Bowdy that was talking about this? Batocera Linux is just like a nice front end. Goodness me, Mr. Shamford, thank you very much for resubbing. Well, 4 fucking years. My God, Mr. Shamford, thank you very much for that. Welcome in, how's it going? Thank you very much for 4 years. Haley Williamson was at Transmat watching Pulp last year. Interesting. I once, the only time I've attended Transmat, I was technically bar staff. So I got in for free. I wasn't bar staff. But if anybody asks, I was bar staff. And I got in for free. 4 years as a master's. 100%. Back in the day, I would have done it on a Mac and Macromedia Director. Macromedia Director is a wonderful bit of software. Would a networked media player work, or does it have to be a physical serial input? No networking would be ideal. So there isn't a network currently. It's for an escape room. There is no internet in the place, no network infrastructure, no Wi-Fi, nothing like that. So I think everything needs to be discrete. I think the answer is just to find one of those Sprite media players, but they're dear for what they are, man. They're quite dear. But if nothing else can do that very limited thing, then fair enough. But I just thought I would ask you lot, because I was researching it a wee bit last night, and I've came to the same conclusions that I think most of you lot would be fine to do it on a Raspberry Pi or something if it was reliable and stable and solid. But it's not going to be. And when it isn't, we can't find that out. It's not as if I could stress test it at home first. Do you know what I mean? Because it might take a month or something before it fails. Can't fail. Can't fail. So I think getting one of the Sprite media players is the best way of doing it. By class, Hammy. That sounds brilliant. And Mr. Shamford, thank you very much for the 4 years. Do you remember the situation I got in where I was convinced that I'd offended you, but you changed your name, and that was why when I was in Fusion 360, I'm using Proxmox for it to VM to the router, or bare metal OPN since, not sure yet. Class. I've not messed about with Proxmox or anything like that, but that sounds dynamite. Ian McLeod's into Batocera. I've only discovered it earlier today, but that sounds dynamite. The Pulp Pianist is a relative of mine, so we got the Friday free with artist access. Chilling backstage with Jarvis Cocker, OK, I saw him for 30 seconds and forced a fall, but we'll take it. Haley Williamson, that sounds like a class day out. Absolutely amazing. Older Bright Sign media players. Thank you, Satala Disco. Sorry to bore everybody with my personal thing of like, how do we do all of this? But thank you very much. Cool. Listen, folks, B. Dolan is live, and I've got a wee bit of stuff to do. So what I'm going to do is eat my lunch. I'm going to give the dog... Well, the doggies have had their lunch. I've not had my lunch. I'm going to bloody well raid B. Dolan. Hammy says, I'm rebuilding my home lab stuff with Proxmox Cluster. Going to try and get a PC VM to stream to Twitch too. That sounds fucking class. I've still only got my TrueNAS set up upstairs, and I haven't really had to do anything footery with it. Do you know what I mean? But I want to get into like proper backups and stuff. Listen, everybody, I need to bounce. So please keep it real, take it easy. I might be on later tonight, but I can't promise anything. But what I will say is, official. That's right, isn't it? Aye. What I will say is I've really enjoyed the stream to date. This has been brilliant. I'm also choking for a piss, so that's one of the big reasons why I'm going to end my stream. Listen, I've been James Houston and you've been brilliant. Thanks very much for joining me today. That's me done everything that I would like to do except for the magic trick. Hello, Rhinoceros. You're in late, mate. See you later. Bye. Love you. Oh, nice one. Zigmanas. Cheers. Bye.